Hey, Will, let me tell you something. If I hit the lottery and I was a billionaire, I'm talking a billionaire, you know what I'm doing? I'm going to buy and bring back the Houston Comets. I'm going to get Tina
Yes.
Thompson. I'm going to get Cheryl Swoops. I'm going to get Cynthia and a few more of them players, and I'm going to have them run the team.
Well, I tell you this, I love that idea.
What?
I can't believe they haven't brought that organization back yet.
What?
There's been some
It's
talk about it. There's been some rumblings about it.
Man.
because it's long overdue. I'm looking like, come on, the first four-peat in any sports history. I mean, how do you not bring that back? But
Vegas is chasing them. Vegas is chasing them.
They are.
Well, I tell you this, they looking pretty good in that chase.
And if I may say about the Houston Comets, Agee, just so you know, I happen to know Coach Van Chancellor. I have his phone number, so if you need to pitch this idea to him, I can hook you up.
Yes, hook me up. I will be a voice for them.
But win the lottery first. Win the lottery first.
You want to hear something crazy about that? Coach Van Chancellor actually does the radio for my kids' games at Houston Christian University.
Oh my God!
Yes. So I see him all the time.
Wow.
But that's just one of them side notes. But Zach, man, I want to get this, man, before we close this down. Man, we got coming up, and I'm excited about this, man. This WNBA All-Star Game. I mean, this is going to be incredible. USA versus the All-Stars. Man, I don't know if I've ever seen anything like this before. There's no way escaping greatness now. Like, all of the greatness is going to be in one building. And I'm looking at the WNBA All-Stars. I'm saying, gosh, that's an Olympic team too. I mean, this is just, man, what can we expect from this? Because I think the ladies will be different than the men. The men come out there and they kind of,
they don't really want to be there.
Right, Harlem Globetrotter-ish.
Yeah.
I think the ladies are going to compete. What can we expect from this All-Star Game?
I would agree with that. I think they're going to come out and compete, and they do compete in the All-Star Game. I mean, I had the good fortune of covering the 2022 All-Star Game in Chicago, and they were competing. And I expect the same thing to be happening in Vegas pretty soon. And what I also see it as, it's sort of like a recognition of of what's here and what's to come. You know what I mean? So the team USA, you got the established veterans. You got Brittany Griner, you got Kelsey Plum, you got Sabrina, you got Diana, Kalia Copper, Asia Wilson. You got all these great players that are in the here. And then when you look at the All-Star team with Caitlin, Angel, and others, that's the future. That's sort of like the future of what is to come. Because all this talk that's been happening around Team USA and who should be picked and who's not and who wasn't picked. I mean, obviously the discussion was on Caitlin and why she wasn't picked. But she's going to be on Team USA eventually. Same with Angel. They're all going to be on the Olympic team in the next 4 years when the Olympics come to Los Angeles in 2028. So I see it as just great competition. They're going to be competitive. They're going to, play it like it's a real game. They're going to take it seriously, enjoy themselves. And again, what you'll see is the beginning of the passing of the torch. You'll see the players on Team USA who are established, who are in the here and now. They're going to play their game, carry it over to Paris, and most likely win. And then the All-Star players are going to be looked at as the future for not just Team USA, but also obviously for the league.
Yeah.
Zach, I got to ask you a tough question though, man, before we get you out of here. And this is, has the WNBA dealt with, it's a two-part question. One is more coming from, okay, what's next? How do they sustain this? And then the other question is, has the WNBA, have they dealt with what's currently happening right now the right way, or have they missed some opportunities because it happened so fast? What's your take on that?
I think they're starting to play catch up in a way. I think they're, making up for lost time. They still obviously got a lot more work to do, but I do think they're making some significant inroads. Just the fact that they now, as AG alluded to earlier, the fact that they now fly charter, most of them do, is a step in the right direction, because that's been something that the players have been arguing about for years now. And now you got the issue of expansion. You got a team coming to Golden State, you got a team coming to Toronto, and they're looking at other locales to put a team together. So I see that happening in the future. The question will be, how do they build off of that in terms of maximizing roster space? Because WNBA rosters are very limited. So even though you go through training camp at the beginning of the season, that doesn't automatically mean you're going to make the team. And a lot of players who get drafted go through training camp and then they get waived just right before the season starts. And then they're left to, play overseas or, look at other options and so forth. So I think there is a lot of work to be done. I think they're making some inroads, some tangible inroads. And to answer your other question, Will, I think the way they build off of that is to continue to make those inroads, to continue to listen to the players. Because if you look back, at the WNBA in the beginning, with Val Ackerman as the commissioner, the original commissioner, she ran it like a league. And really, it's been run like a business, and that's not how you sustain that in professional sports. You can't run it like a business. And so, I mean, Kathy Engelbert has made some progress, and I think she's listening to the players a lot more. But that's the way that you go forward in sustaining the league, is by listening to the players who have been saying for years, we know what we want, we know what we need, listen to us. And as long as they do that, I think the league can continue to make a lot of progress. It's going to take some time, but they're heading in the right direction.
And your take on the NBA, have they done enough? Or what more can the NBA do to support this? Because if essentially it's a brother-sister relationship now. I mean, what more should or could the NBA be doing?
I think the NBA at the very least can just continue to highlight and support the players in the league by going to their games, which they've done for years since the league started. I mean, obviously, some people may think of, the NBA and the WNBA, the players being at odds with each other, fighting each other, but if you really look at it, there's been a genuine solidarity between the two. I mean, I can think back to Kobe Bryant, obviously. Like, in his later years before he tragically passed away, you saw him at more WNBA games than you saw him at NBA games. And he developed a great rapport with a lot of the players in the league. And even when he came into the league in 96, 97, when the league first started, the WNBA first started, he was one of its passionate supporters. And you always saw NBA players, and you still do see NBA players sitting courtside at their games, just like you see WNBA players sitting courtside at NBA games. So I think the solidarity and the support has always been there. I just think they just need to continue to highlight the league, to support the league, talk about the players on a regular basis, continue to show up for them and show out for them. And obviously, the NBA players get a lot of buzz and a lot of attention, and they have a lot of followers on social media. So I think the more visuals that are out there of them supporting the league, I think everything just takes care of itself from there.
Absolutely. Well, listen here, Zach, man, I want to thank you for joining us on this NBA, WNBA sports update, man. You've been amazing. We got to have you back on. How can people find you?
You can follow me on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. It's at Draves, DRAV as in Victor, ES, Zachary, on X on Twitter. And then also you can follow me on Instagram. It's at ZDraves0633. And the reason I put 0633 as those last four numbers on Instagram, number 6, Bill Russell, number 33, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
There you go. Hey, you want to plug that Reimagining a Dynasty?
Oh yes, I do want to give a shout out to my people at the just going to pull it up here really quickly. Just
Mhm.
want to give a shout out to all the people at the 9450, which is a production company headed by Daniel Artest,
Mhm.
who and we're
Big
producing.
D,
Yes,
that's our
exactly.
guy.
So
Yeah, yeah,
that's our
yeah.
exactly. So we're producing a podcast called Reimagining a Dynasty that tells the story of the Houston Comets in a podcast form. So we do have one episode out. We're looking on putting some more together. I'm actually going to look to put something together about Kim Peratt, the captain of the Houston Comets, who passed away 25 years ago this
Mm-hmm.
August.
Yep.
So be on the lookout for that, and please support the 9450. You can follow them on X or Twitter at the 9450.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We got to get Daniel Artest on the podcast, Will, to
You
talk
know what?
about that.
I'm gonna reach out to Daniel today, man. I'll reach out to him today.
Yep.
Well, listen, we want to thank you guys, especially you, Zach, for joining us today. Hey, don't forget to follow us on all of your social media platforms at OG Hoop Dreams. You can find us there. And remember, leave us questions about the things that you want to hear, us talking about. Uh, Send them. We'll put them on there. Again, Zach, thank you for joining us today. And AG, take us out, man.
Y'all know what to do. We always use it. And subscribe.